inevitable. Nowhere is immune to Moscow's desire to conquer its neighbour. James Waterhouse, BBC News, Kyiv.
This all comes as Russian President Vladimir Putin landed in Beijing Thursday for a two-day visit to China to deepen a strategic partnership between the two countries. In an interview with Chinese state-run media, Putin said he's prepared to negotiate over the conflict in Ukraine. The Kremlin says Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping will also discuss Asia, energy, and trade. Let's talk about the situation in Ukraine now with Ukrainian journalist and fellow at the Center for European Policy Analysis, Elina Beketova. Elina, very good to have you on BBC News. First of all, can you tell us how you assess the situation in Kharkiv right now? How critical is it?
Thank you so much for having me. And well, it's not surprising that Ukrainians faced a shortage of ammunition and artillery, especially given the delay with the supplemental bill. Russian forces took advantage of this critical moment to strike. However, there is a hope that the situation will improve in the coming weeks. From what we can observe right now, Ukraine's defensive actions continue in Kharkiv Oblast. Over the course of the day, as the President Zelensky said, Ukrainian defense and security forces have managed to partially stabilize the situation. What is the situation in Kharkiv Oblast right now? I checked out a few sources, and according to the mayor of Kharkiv, Terehov, there was a strike by Russians around 1 a.m., and it was very loud in the city. In a couple of hours, we will know the situation there and what are the consequences. Yeah. And well, from what I know, I have a friend over there. We went to the same university, and he basically said that in the morning he was in the gym, and he jokes on Facebook, and he says that he has to look after the city. He told basically that there is a feeling that you are like a brick. So it's super powerful. Wow. I feel that people who are in Kharkiv and people who are in the neighboring regions, they just try to basically support the armed forces of Ukraine who are defending at this particular moment, as we are speaking with you, every inch of the Ukrainian
Elina,
territory.
Could I ask you, we've heard, that Russia has started to pick up momentum now in pushing back Ukrainian forces. If Russia were to take this region and to take the city of Kharkiv, what would that mean?
Well, I don't think that there is a possibility of Russian forces taking this city or Kharkiv region. Well, according to the general staff of the armed forces of Ukraine, as of 7 p.m. on Wednesday, Ukrainian soldiers could repel 10 attacks. So right now, Russian forces are attacking near the settlements of Slobozhansk, Vovchansk, Staritsi, and Liptsi. But the situation has been partially stabilized, and the mop-up operation is ongoing in the northwestern outskirts of the town of Vovchansk. So you probably heard about Vovchansk, and we saw it in the package of the journalists before. So basically, some people do want to leave Vovchansk, but the situation has been partially stabilized. So from what we see right now, Russian forces don't have enough capacity. They try to stretch the Ukrainian forces. They try to stretch the front line.
And
at this particular moment,
the question, Elina, is how successful they will be. And we know the U.S. has announced more aid. I mean, is there any amount of aid that can get there fast enough to be able to actually repel Russia back across its border?
Well, that's a great question, Sumi. I wish I knew the answer, but as the White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said on Monday, some weapons have arrived and more are coming this week. He said there is a steady flow of weapons heading to Ukraine, and another package will be announced soon. So hopefully in the course of 1 week or several weeks, we will have the stabilization of the front line over there. And definitely we can see some of the victories by the Ukrainian forces.
We just have about a minute left, Elina, but I just wonder if you could share with us a bit about Kharkiv, because as you said, you studied there. What must it be like for people living there? You shared the one story of a friend. I mean, we've seen thousands of people now fleeing.
Well, that's true. Some people try to flee, some people stay there. So as I have said, my friend lives over there with his family. He has a daughter, wife, and he goes to the gym as he would do it other days. He just tries to fundraise and help the armed forces of Ukraine who are battling over there. Well, according to the mayor of city Terehov, he says that basically Russian forces are trying to intimidate the residents of Kharkiv, for instance, at this particular moment, but he says that, well, people try not to panic and people try to help as they can. And what is very interesting, just a couple of days ago, the mayor wrote that they are trying to allocate additional funds. He said that he was in direct contact with unit commanders defending the city and region, and Kharkiv has already allocated funds to some brigades and will soon provide support to all the defenders. And he basically just urged all the businessmen to help. So meaning that whenever Ukrainians have any type of a threat, they try to mobilize whatever they have
and
there,
band together,
and they try to hold the line.
Yeah, that's really interesting, Elina. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on BBC News. Really appreciate your perspective.
Thank you so much for the invitation.